is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon!
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it! The Ducks have won!
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions!
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Catch made! Touchdown, Oregon!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We've got a number of things to cover today. Rob Moseley will join us. We're talking Ducks and Cougs, 12:30 kickoff on ABC. Oregon looking for a bounce back. And look, Washington State's a good team. In fact, Matt Chazanow, voice of the Cougs, is going to join us on Duck Insider tomorrow. And we actually talked with him yesterday. So to give you a little bit of a teaser on that, they've been really good, apart from the dud against Arizona. But here's the thing. Arizona's maybe a handful of plays away from being undefeated this year. Arizona, a close one against Mississippi State. A lot of people think they maybe should have won that game against USC. I'm probably one of the people that thinks they should have won that game against USC. So maybe Arizona giving Washington State a drubbing, maybe that's more about Arizona than it is about the Cougs. But here's the thing. The Cougs turned it over 6 times. I will challenge anybody to turn the ball over 6 times and be victorious. And I think that's going to end up being a key in this game. We'll talk to Chaz on the show tomorrow. Student-athlete interviews today. Bucky Irving, Brandon Dorles, Patrick Herbert, Marcus Harper, Triquez Bridges, Stephen Jones, Mace Funa, Steve Stevens, and also, shout out, Oregon volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer met with the media today. That's on today's show, tomorrow's show, maybe Friday's show. We'll see how things go. Also tonight, Oregon football coaches show. Dan Lanning will join Jerry and Jorgie here in the Country Financial Studio. I'll be talking with Steve Stevens, and I want to give a shout out to Steve to start Duck Insider and encourage you to check out the coaches show tonight. Steve is in a master's program that is about brand responsibility here at the University of Oregon. And I actually have seen his current draft of his capstone project. It's 54 pages long. And it's all about what a student-athlete who's coming into the U of O as a freshman needs to know, particularly about visibility and doing shows like Steve is going to do with us tonight. It's an awesome capstone project, and I think it's actually going to be pretty impactful for student-athletes here at the U of O moving forward. So shout out to Steve Stevens. He's going to join us, a veteran, on the show here coming up tonight. That's the Oregon Football Coaches Show, live 7:05 across the Oregon Sports Network and on the Oregon Football social media channels, as well as the GoDucks YouTube, where you might be watching Duck Insider right now. Coach Lanning, after practice today, he chatted with us for about 5 minutes and covered a lot of ground, actually. The energy level in Monday's practice, he was complimentary in his weekly press conference Monday night. And actually, maybe it was a little too energetic on Tuesday and perhaps today. Coach Lanning, every time we talk with him, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Coach Lanning, after practice just a little while ago.
All right, great competition out there today. Third down, red area like normal. Thought guys had a lot of juice and fire out there on the field and did a great job. Can open it up.
Any an explanation from the Pac-12 about the late hit on Bo that was uncalled too?
I did not.
We've had 3 of those now. Is there just concern? Like, on one hand, it's consistent, but not for in your favor. So is there concern about, like, late hits on your players that are going uncalled right now?
Yeah, I don't know that there's that many. I mean, those are judgment calls in the heat of the moment. I don't think that anybody's blatantly not trying to call late hits on our guys. You know, it's football. They're doing the best job that they certainly can do. We certainly want to protect our players, and that's always mission one.
Monday you said the effort was increased. Has that carried over to Tuesday to Wednesday?
Yeah, I'd say the passion and intensity was a little too much yesterday, right? And we've got to level that out because there's a rule of diminishing returns to where when you have so much juice, you can't focus on the job at hand. And today that was much better. Now there was definitely intensity out there on the field, but it's the leveling that out and feeling where that passion's at.
The
The GPS is as high as they were on Monday, speed-wise?
Yesterday, yeah, we had good numbers yesterday. I haven't seen today's yet.
How much the new offensive coordinator there from Morris to Arbuckle? How much have you changed? Have you seen change there, and what impresses you most with how he's kind of handled play calling?
Yeah, well, they create explosive plays, right? They create a lot of explosive plays. Like I said, this really mirrors a lot of what Texas Tech has done in the past. He came from Western Kentucky. He keeps a lot of the things that they did really well last year as part of his system, and they've added some new wrinkles. But obviously, has an elite quarterback, and he knows how to distribute the ball.
You're someone who's dealt with outside noise before a lot this season and last season. What do you make of the way that Jake Dickert has kind of dealt with a lot of the stuff this year, whether it's conference realignment or coaching search stuff? What do you think he's dealt with that this year?
Honestly, I don't know much about it, but I'll say this: I'm impressed with Jake. He's a pro. He does a great job. Coaches his tail off. I'm familiar with his background, but I don't know much about the outside noise.
Cam's had 3 kickoffs out of bounds, 2 in that same corner kind of placement. Is there something that he can rectify? You hope that Grant can appear in at least a couple more games for you in that role? Or
Grant's played for some already. I think Cam can go out there and execute his job at a higher level, and I think Cam would be the first guy to tell you that. So it's happened. It's something you got to keep working and improving on, and Cam's certainly capable of doing that.
Bucky had a career high in carries this past game, and his average is more or less in line with where it was last year. But do you see his role picking up in terms of average carries per game going forward?
I think his role will embrace whatever it takes for us to win the game and have success, and he will always do that. But obviously, he's a great back. Anybody that watches him can see that.
We talked about Poncho on Monday. I'm curious what you've seen from Ope this year, kind of just helping the younger brother out and kind of getting him up to speed.
I think I told you guys earlier that Ope is an unbelievable leader. He is a voice that everybody respects on our team. He always has a great message. This guy has a smile on his face every single day he steps here. He knows how blessed he is to be here. He comes from a phenomenal family, and so does Poncho. But yeah, he's a special guy.
What are some of the little things you guys are looking to clean up going into this weekend's game?
Probably more than anything, just details, small details of execution, right? And that'll lead to success on the field.
On the miscommunications on the first 2 touchdowns defensively, was that a leverage with Jaleel issue on the first one versus the safety? I think it was Evan on there. And on the second one, should 2 guys have gone to the flat, or should a safety stay over the top?
Yeah, we should have. The second one, there was a miscommunication from a coverage standpoint. The first one was a leverage deal.
Poncho was pretty consistently coming for Steven around the second quarter, and then Steven comes back in later in the game. But I'm just curious for the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, Poncho's playing well enough for us to have winning football, and we feel like if a guy's playing, at a level to be a winning football player, we want to figure out a way to utilize him and get him in the game.
When a team challenges a player like Washington did Quez once he got in, how do you respond, as a coach, to putting your players in the best position in that spot, and how do you want a player to respond when they're challenged in that way?
Go out there and execute your job. Believe in your technique. And we're always conscientious of where people are out on the field. That was a game where there's good players across the field, right? So guys got to go out there and execute.
How do you see Mace's role in that strong side backer spot as it's kind of evolved? Because we talked about before the season, certain teams in this league are not going to be 12 and 13 heavy anymore, so it kind of changes what base is. But how do you see Mace's role and what he brings in modern football for this?
Yeah, I think Mace is playing some of his best football. Obviously, whenever we go to sub packages, he's playing the outside linebacker spot, so he goes to the jack spot and plays there for us as well. When teams are big and they do certain things out of personnel, we'll be big to match them. When they're not, then we're going to change our personnel groups to match that, and Mace has done a good job of that.
A couple of weeks on the road now. How excited are you to get back inside Autzen and have a home crowd behind you now?
Yeah, there's nothing like playing in front of our crowd here in Autzen, and our fans are unbelievable. I know our players love playing in that stadium, so we embrace every single chance we get.
Just Bo's knowledge of their DC help this week.
I don't know that I believe. I mean, there's some carryover, but I don't know that there's necessarily a big piece of that.
Dan Lanning, Duck football head coach, meeting with the media after practice today. Brought to you by WVCI. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. A couple watch lists today. We'll talk about that. Grace Van Slooten, women's basketball schedule announced this week. Head to GoDucks.com. Season tickets on sale. The exhibition season starts this month for Oregon women's basketball. Also, the men's team hosting that exhibition following the Duck football game on Saturday, 5 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena. More details, GoDucks.com. A charity donation for the American Red Cross as part of this exhibition for Oregon men's basketball against Nevada on Saturday. Some football honors coming up and a number of student-athlete interviews. First, though, a timeout. And when we come back, Rob Moseley joining us, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. The Coach's Show is tonight at 7:05. Thank you, Alex, on the whiteboard hand. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack, joined by Rob Mosley, GoDucks.com editor-in-chief here in the Country Financial Studio. Rob.
Hey, bro.
What are you doing?
I was just looking through some photos from football practice.
Yeah? How'd you do through the lens today?
It was a weird day because it was a little foggy.
Yeah.
So, the light wasn't great.
Fog advisory in effect in the Valley till 10 a.m. this morning.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I tried to get a little moody, some atmospheric type stuff, but I'm way out over my skis at that point.
How much have you grown as a photographer in the last decade, though?
Oh, gosh.
Seriously.
I only started taking pictures 3 or 4 years ago, so you're only talking about
really
the last
only been
5 years.
That long?
Yeah, it was sort of a COVID pet project.
Oh, okay.
With the wife and myself.
I felt like you did it before that.
Maybe a little. I mean, I'd have to look, but yeah, not much longer before that.
So how much have you grown as a photographer in the last 4 years?
Well, I mean, there's two sides to that, like a lot, but also like, I've gone from like 2% good to 5% good.
Hey, that's
so I'm like 150% better.
Yeah,
but I'm still only 5% good.
No, that's a drastic improvement, Rob.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's what I would tell my mom when I bring my report card home, and I'd be like, I went from an F to a D. What a big improvement! And she'd be like, bro, you still suck.
I think 3 of the last 4 conversations your mom has come up on the show.
Oh, I love her to death.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You're a good son.
I've come around. It took a while.
Did you get a few more B's and C's?
Yeah. She dragged me kicking and screaming across the finish line at U of O.
That's good.
Yeah, I was not equipped to leave home at the time I did and be a grown-up.
But it's worked out for you.
Absolutely. And, thanks to my whole family for empowering me with their patience, empowering me with the time and space to actually grow the heck up.
Well,
it's still a work in progress.
Why do you want to grow up?
I don't. I do not.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. I'm leaving right now to go to Portland to go see a couple bands tonight.
See?
I am not growing up ever.
See, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. You'll be tuning into the Oregon Football Coaches Show on your drive back.
100%.
Thanks, Rob.
Yes.
Thanks, buddy. Football. What's on your mind?
Well, there's an open-ended question. Well, it's a game played between 2 sides of 11.
Right. That's
right. Offense, defense, special teams.
It's a 100-yard field.
Yeah, no, I mean, all you can do is just be excited to see the guys get back after it on Saturday. the result in Seattle, I mean, there was just, again, two sides to that. It's so frustrating to lose like that to that team, up there. And yet, you feel like also there's a sense of validation that this is a really good Oregon team. And I think the respect being shown the Ducks nationally in the wake of the defeat shows how much that's resonated. And then that because of the body of work leading up to the game in Seattle, there still were some questions about how legit this team was and how high its ceiling was. And ironically, in a loss, it was reinforced that, this team does have a really high ceiling and, still could be playing for championships at the end of the year, particularly with, the remaining schedule and the chance to bolster the resume.
I was talking with my counterpart at Washington about this, and I'm curious your thoughts.
Ugh.
Yeah, right? So this is a good start to that conversation. So as a consumer of athletic events that you are,
yes.
I know, you probably, I think, at this point watch more sports and consume more live sports than I do, especially since becoming a dad. My viewership has definitely declined.
I was down to, for the last few years, basically only live sports and news.
Yeah.
And even the news, the last couple months, I'm it's just it's
a lot.
It's hard. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. So basically, I don't watch shows. I don't stream nothing except for sports.
So on that note, then, as the two Ducks that we are, you're wearing an Oregon sweater. I got the Oregon polo, right? Okay. Could you appreciate the fact that it was just such a highly entertaining game?
Hell no.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I got asked that, so Steve Tannen, our buddy, asked me that, and I was okay, it was a great game, but also I don't no.
Yeah, Nate Costa was at practice yesterday, and he was like, I went up, said hi. He's like, how you doing? I'm like, Saturday sucked. He was like, no, it didn't. It was great. That's a great place. When they're good, that's a great place to play. And I was like, okay, well, agree to disagree.
Good for Nate Costa, though, for
he's
being
got some
that
perspective.
way.
I mean, he's always, he's always been a man kind of wise beyond his years.
Yes.
And some might say I'm the opposite. So
some might.
Maybe some in this room. Maybe someone in that corner back there.
And I think the person saying those words.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Alex is ready for you. But for look, I asked this knowing that I think that you can have an appreciation of, wow, it was an entertaining, great game. But when you're like us and you're so in it, I'm not. I have really fond memories of the last time Oregon played Washington State. Right. I don't know if Coug fans remember it quite like we do.
Right. No.
You know what I mean?
They're not saying what a great game that was.
Right.
Yeah. No.
No, it's just, man, that sucked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When you're having that when the conversations afterward are like, would you rather lose like that or get blown out? It's like, well,
neither.
Would you rather cut off my arm or my leg?
Right.
Neither one. They both sound horrible.
No, I agree. Okay. See, this makes me feel better because when I was talking to Steve the other day, I was like, Steve, if you're asking me to be neutral, I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Entertaining football game. Great for the neutral fans.
Great. You had fun. Yay. I'm glad that my pain provided you some enjoyment.
Well, that's true a lot of the time.
Yeah, touche.
But in any case, I think you're right, though. The ceiling still really high. And look, here's hoping that the team isn't thinking about this. We talked about this a little bit. You did with Bucky Irving yesterday. The team isn't thinking about, okay, there could be a rematch. But the fact is there could be a rematch with the way the conference sets up. Look, for people like you and me, here's hoping that there's a rematch here coming up in December.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it means I don't care if the Ducks are going to make the Pac-12 championship game, I don't care. I'll play Arizona State.
That's right.
Get us into that game, and let's go.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Though some takeaways then heading into this matchup with Wazoo. What are you thinking?
I mean, I think defensively you look at how different a challenge it is. I mean, you're still used to a team that throws the ball a lot, but just so Washington's so vertical, and these guys are going to be a little different. So I think for the defensive backfield, it's a different kind of a challenge, and again, your defensive front's going to want to affect the quarterback, but that's a different kind of challenge too. And obviously offensively, the margin for error was so thin last week.
Yep.
And obviously those fourth downs, got a lot of attention, but a couple of the third down plays that preceded the fourth downs to me were more frustrating.
Agreed.
the incompletion before the fourth down, right before halftime, the running play right before the fourth down at the end of the game. Those were executable plays, and that weren't. And those are the ones. To me, those haunt just as much, if not more, than the fourth downs. But
you convert those, there isn't a fourth down.
Right. So God, here we are reliving it again.
Sorry, yeah. I asked for takeaways heading into Wazoo, and then you turned us back.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
It just lurks there. It doesn't go away.
Okay, brightness,
easily.
my old
Yep.
friend.
Okay.
Washington State last year, that was a
that was awesome.
Game.
That was amazing.
So, it's funny. Like
it did a lot of breaks went Oregon's way late, and made some of their own breaks too. But I think if you're Washington, you feel different about coming out of last week's game than say Oregon coming out of the Washington State game.
Right.
Last year's Washington State game, you feel like, wow, some things really broke our way, and again, we had to make our own luck, but we're in a hole, and man, we kind of got away with one. Maybe I think Washington's like, hey, we went toe to toe, we made the plays, they didn't. We're feeling great about ourselves.
Right. I was just thinking though, like this Washington State game, it didn't hit me until like Monday afternoon that if I'm on the Cougar side. Right, their feeling is like, okay, should have had them last year.
Right.
Now it's a chance to beat them in their own place.
Yeah.
Like that storyline hadn't really hit me, and I'm actually a little surprised it hasn't been discussed more, I guess.
Well, I mean, they're in a tough spot with how last week's game went. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody really saw that happening. I mean, I don't remember the timing exactly, but I feel like we landed back from Seattle and saw the score and was like, wait, what happened? Right. And so I think we both know and have seen teams. I mean, there's two different ways you can react to that. You could be like, hey, that wasn't us, and we're motivated to bounce back and prove it. Right. Or you could be like, uh-oh, that just exposed some things about us that could be kind of endemic, and are we in a bad spot suddenly? Yeah. Are we not the team we thought we were going to be? So this is a gut check week for them for sure. Yeah. And so I know Oregon's going to be on alert, knowing, you don't know 100% the way things could go, but that's going to be a really motivated team, at least from the start. If you can put them in a hole early, any juice they do manufacture to bring into this one, you could maybe take out of them a little quick. But if you give them some life, then, if there is some belief that they lost last week, that could come bubbling right back up to the surface.
Another 12:30 kickoff, too.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah. Last week was awesome. I mean, getting home at before 8 p.m. or whatever it was is great. I tend to be kind of a late sleeper, so I don't love getting up at
12:30 is not too bad.
It's not.
It's not the big noon.
And as I get older, I can't sleep in as late as I used to. So
why not? You're still 29.
No, dude. I wish I was, but no. I mean, I get up at 7:15 in the morning now. It's not that hard. If I told myself that 10 years ago that was going to happen, I would not have believed it.
Whoa.
But it's just old.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hello, darkness.
Exactly, yeah. I turned 47 on Monday, and it's hard to say out
happy
loud.
Happy belated.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah.
47. I mean, I'm in my late 40s. 50's right there.
Yeah. But you're 29.
Right.
Yeah. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. Volleyball, big home weekend, too.
Yeah, and, you talk about, a kind of a show-me, kind of a gut-check weekend. I mean, are they going to be, they've got a couple ranked losses in conference play now. You got to start padding your resume with some big wins, and certainly with Stanford, there's a chance to do that. But the way things went against Arizona State this past weekend, you can't take anything for granted against Cal Friday either. Sure. That was as one-sided as a match has gone against Oregon in a long, long time. So they gotta get their act back together and play well Friday, get some mojo going again, and then try to bolster the resume against Stanford.
Basketball season's almost here.
It really, really is. Cue Simon and Garfunkel. No, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be exciting though. It's just gonna be busy for us, as we talk about all the time.
That's right.
It's that late October through to November into December gets pretty hectic. But again, it beats having a real job.
That's
right.
Yeah,
no, I'm excited. Obviously, the women's program is near and dear to my heart, and so excited to see them. But the men as well. I mean, that's both teams coming off a couple years where feel like you didn't kind of play up to your standard, and so. Got to try to do that.
He's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. What else are you working on? Anything else fans should know?
Not really.
All right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we just laid it all out. Everything that's on the plate.
Thanks, Darkness.
Hey, yeah. Sorry about be such a downer. Yeah.
Appreciate you. I tried to amp you up today.
What
You
does
said you
Stimson
needed it.
have? No, I know, but this will help. The old
Good.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Get that caffeine in there, Rob. Rob, when are you getting home tonight?
I'm staying up in Portland tonight.
Smart man.
Yeah.
That's the way.
But, yeah, after Tool last night at the arena and then tonight, yeah.
You stacked them together.
I might feel 47 tomorrow.
You stacked them up. Well,
Yep.
when I see you in the Mashofsky Center tomorrow, I'll just give you a look.
Yep. Be kind.
That'll be it.
I might need like a chair to sit in or
You'll be fine.
Yeah, some fluids.
Be fine.
Yep.
Rob Mosley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com, at GoDucksMosley, at Duck Football. When we come back, some midseason honors for Duck Football. Also a number of Rob had a comment. Say it again.
I said we have some thoughts from Stimson.
Oh, Stimson says early kickoffs are greater than late kickoffs. Hey, that's a good math formula that you wrote there. Weren't you a journalism major?
No.
Math major?
Econ, political science. Yeah, econ.
Econ political science major. I don't think I knew that. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Huh.
That's why he's in the corner.
It makes so much more sense now.
Does it?
Yeah.
Nothing about that man makes sense.
Alex Stimson. He's in the Country Financial Studio. Rob, get out of here. Go to Portland.
All right, thanks, Steve.
All right, we're back after this. Going to talk with some student athletes on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. A number of Duck football student-athlete interviews coming your way. They'll also be available on the GoDucks YouTube, thanks to our great Quack video team. Grace Van Sluten, though, first. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Quack video. Good. We like the Quack video team. That's good. Grace Van Sluten, Duck forward, selected to the preseason watch list for the Cheryl Miller Award today. It's presented annually to the nation's best small forward. Van Sluten, one of just 4 sophomores named to the 20-member preseason watch list and one of 2 representatives from the Pac-12. Fans are encouraged to participate in fan voting starting on Friday. This Friday, October 20th. So you can make an impact. Maybe Grace Van Sluten, Cheryl Miller Award watch list. You got to see her on the midseason watch list also. Then the postseason list. That'd be good. Also, some football honors rolling in today. We're at that midway point, so a number of honors yesterday and a couple here today. Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson named a first-team midseason All-American by the Associated Press on Wednesday, today. And wide receiver Troy Franklin was selected to the second-team AP All-American squad. Powers Johnson and Franklin were named to the same All-American teams by The Athletic on Wednesday as well, and Powers Johnson was recognized as a Sporting News midseason All-American. I got to tell you, like, Jackson has really emerged, Powers Johnson, as a leader among this team. I think part of it is when you're playing on the O-line, especially the position he's playing on the O-line, it's sort of a natural progression in leadership. But I've been impressed with the way that he's been, and he's a fun interview. I'll be honest with you. He's a fun interview. Another fun interview is Bucky Irving. He had a lot of good things to say after practice yesterday. Duck running back kicking off a number of student-athlete interviews for you today.
How do you feel like guys are responding to Saturday's result? Do you feel like guys are responding in a positive manner?
Oh, yeah. We've been here before. I mean, we just got to put our heads down on the ground. Can't really sit around and pout and think about the loss. We just got to get back to work.
Coach said yesterday that he felt that you guys were practicing a lot harder and with a lot of intensity yesterday. You feel like that's kind of been the mindset early on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, win or loss, we're going to come to work. I mean, that one loss don't define our season, so we just going to put our head down and work.
How do you feel physically throughout Saturday? That was a career high in carries for you. Pretty big uptick from what we've seen so far this season.
I mean, I feel good. I'm a guy that's always in the treatment room taking care of my body, so I'll be always up for the challenge.
You feel like 20 carries a game, if that was something that comes your way here the rest of the way, that you're up to that, you're good for that for 20 carries a week?
I mean, I go day by day. I mean, if that's what the team need me to do, I'm up for the challenge and I'm going to do it.
There's already been some chatter about maybe if you guys get to play Washington again. Is it helpful at all for you guys to think with a mindset like that, or is it really just week by week still?
I mean, it's week by week, day by day. We're just going to put our head down. Right now we're focusing on Washington State. That's what's in front of us, so we're going to worry about them, and then we're going to worry about each and every game.
What do you remember from last year's game up in Pullman against Washington State?
I mean, it was a pretty tough environment to play in, very loud. I mean, they got on us early. I mean, we can't get off to a slow start, and we just got to come in and do what we do.
What do you made of Jordan's performance the past couple of weeks and stepping up for Noah since he's been gone?
I mean, that's a guy that always come to work each and every day. I told y'all it wasn't going to be no surprise to me because I seen how he came in day one as a freshman and worked his tail off, a guy that never complained. He going to do all the little things right, no off-the-field problems, and just going to come to work.
Having previously played against Washington State's defense, just what stands out about them, and just what's kind of the keys you think offensively for you guys?
I mean, they're a pretty good football team, pretty good on defense, all around good, solid football team. So we just got to come to play. We can't think it's a slouch game. Come out, they're gonna bring it. I mean, it's Oregon, everybody gonna bring it versus us. But I mean, we just got to come to play.
I thought that was interesting, though, Bucky Irving talking about if it's constructive or not to think about Washington. We used that quote in the Quack Minute yesterday, Rob and I did, and you know, it says a lot about where the team's at. They know that Washington State, the Cougs want to win this one, especially after what happened last year, like we were referring to. Similarly, a guy who is, I got to tell you, a lot of fun to watch on two-point conversions, that's Patrick Herbert. He talked with the media this week, and Pat Herbert has been involved in a number of big-time plays. And also, I should mention that Patrick Herbert is going to be with us on the pregame show beginning at 10:30 on Saturday. And that's going to be a fun conversation. I know because I already did it with him. And I've talked for about 9.5 minutes. This, not quite 9.5 minutes. Patrick Herbert talking with the media this week.
Even as long as you have to play in that game, and I know you did last year too, but I mean, to play on the road and have that moment, to have a touchdown in that one, just what did that feel like?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, anything you can do to help out the team, really cool.
Coach was saying, kind of reminded him of the Montana to Clark catch in terms of just you trailing back. Can you walk us through what you're thinking there, and you and Nick's being on the same page?
Yeah, you know, scramble drill, wanted to get in his sight, saw him kind of look at me. I was hoping he'd throw it.
You see the look on those 2-point conversions where you kind of know that you're going to have that hole there. What's kind of going through? Like, do you know you're going to get in the end zone on those 2-point conversions before?
I mean, yeah, we always run to score. We don't really run it if we don't think we can get in. So, you know, if we get a look that we like, we're going to run it, try and get in there.
How'd you get that job?
Just being on the PAT field goal.
You let your mind go to the possibility of playing Washington again in a conference title game, and the fans are already thinking of that. But that's fans. But like, do you let your mind go there at all?
I mean, not really right now. We're just kind of worried about Washington State right now and getting better today.
What's been the response you've seen? A lot of veterans on this team have had tough games like this before, but kind of how have you seen the last couple of days been in response?
Yeah, I think the guys have really rallied. We had guys here on Sunday all day. Yesterday was probably one of the most physical practices we've had in a while, and that's like on the players, not the coaches. Like, we wanted to be physical, so that was on us. There's been a lot of response by the older guys in the locker room, so it's been cool to see.
There are a couple of guys who've set the tone in that regard that, I don't know, kind of stand out?
Yeah, of course. You guys got Bo Nix, Jeff Bossa, Troy Franklin, Bucky, Dorles, all those guys.
What makes it one of the more physical practices? Just guys hitting each other, straight up, or just
no lollygagging around. We're all kind of we're getting right to it.
No lollygagging. That's my quote from Patrick Herbert. But for real, I had a great conversation with him. I actually learned why he wears number 88 for Duck football. His grandfather wore number 88. So they've got uniforms in their family from this era and, from earlier than this era with his grandfather. Super cool. That conversation coming up as part of our 10:30 pregame show on Saturday ahead of that 12:30 kickoff. Ducks, Cougs at Autzen Stadium. You mentioned Brandon Dorles. When we come back, let's talk to Brandon Dorles. Quick timeout. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I don't know what Alex is doing, and we're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting. It was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Coaches Show tonight. Dan Lanning and Steve Stevens joining us here in the studio. And Brandon Dorles talked with the media after practice yesterday. Dorles is always going to give you something fun in an interview. We know that, and he did, talking with all of us yesterday. Brandon Dorles talking after practice.
What was that like for you watching the end of that one, between watching the offense a couple of times and defensively where you guys had made that many stops and then they come through?
Yeah, everybody knows disappointing. Not the result we wanted, but I know we go back and watch this film like yesterday we did. A lot of missed opportunities that could have ended the game way before it could haven't given them a chance to come back. Even myself, I had a lot of missed plays. I gave up a touchdown myself, and I feel like I could have avoided the loss myself. So I took it very personal. And, it's going to still sit on us for a little minute, but we're going to see him again, though.
Which touchdown do you feel like you gave up?
I think it was around second quarter. They was going towards their way, and the run outside zone. Yeah, and I feel like I could have done a better job setting the edge and making that play. So I took that one to the chin.
Having so many veteran guys who've been through moments like this, how does that help maybe some of the younger guys? It's a tough loss.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just all about how you respond at this point. You can't do nothing now you can't go back and not go win again. Like, we already lost this on the record. So now it's how do you get better from this, how you move on, I feel like the veterans did a really good job coming Sunday and just, saying, all right, what do we do wrong? What's next? And what we got to do? And we have a good mindset right now. I'm still hurt about it, but I'm gonna get over it.
Dan said yesterday that the energy level seemed like it picked up a little bit yesterday. How do you feel like you've seen that out in practice so far?
No, yeah, yesterday was ridiculous. Yesterday was ridiculous. I think that was the hardest Monday practice we've seen. Like, even just looking at the records on the GPS wise, like seeing how fast we were moving, like that was the most hardest practice we had, and that just shows you that loss really meant a lot to everybody. And the season's not done with, and we got a lot of football left to be played. So we're gonna show the world what's up.
People are already starting to talk about and speculate about you guys playing Washington again in the conference title game. Do you let your mind go there?
No, I just think about the next game. I let the season play like week by week. Day by day. How can I get better? What can I do to avoid losses like that? And my whole goal is to have a perfect game. I still have to have a perfect game, and it's hard to have a perfect game because you always want to win, but you always want to play to the standard too. So that's my goal.
What do you remember for your 4 years so far in this Washington State series? Because you've won all 4 of them. They've all been quite different from 19 with the field goal.
Yeah.
And
so 19 was the field goal at Camden. 20 was the COVID over there. We got them. 21. Did we play them 21?
Mm-hmm.
We did play them 21. That's when we went. They came here.
Mm-hmm.
We got
them.
them.
A pretty good day.
Yeah. And then last year, that's probably the craziest one. But that just shows you the type of team Wazoo is. They're very a talented team. They're not a sorry team. If you don't go in that game about business and you want to win that game, them boys will beat you. And they have the ability to beat anybody in the Pac-12, in my opinion. And they showed it already this season. So it's going to be another tough week for us. It's not an off week for us. This is a get-back week for us. We're still pissed off about the game last week. So this week we got to show them what's up.
You talk about how mobile quarterbacks can frustrate the D-line in particular. And Ward is one of those guys. He literally changed the rules of football last year with the self-pass. How difficult and challenging is he?
Yeah, this is probably the most annoying quarterback I don't like going against. He drops back 13 yards. It's like backyard football. So the biggest thing is being in shape, to keep going and go after him. But the biggest thing is to cage him and not let him get all over the world and extend plays with his legs. I feel like we got some new plays, new calls in. And I feel like we're going to watch our mistakes from last year and we're going to tighten those up. And today we had a good day, Coaches are getting prepared for the screens, all the fast tempo they do, so we have a pretty good plan.
What makes it so hard to actually bring him down? Is it like lower body strength, balance? Like, what is it?
It's just, as a D lineman, after you beat the offensive lineman, like now it's like, okay, it's a little dude right there. Like, we trying to kill him. So like the mindset I have is like, okay, I'm going to just go kill him. Yeah. But like that's Coach Lanning was talking yesterday, he's like, gotta have a mindset where we just get this guy down. Like, it's not has to be a kill shot, just get him down. Last year I had like 2 missed opportunities on him. Because I was trying to go kill him to take him out of the game, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You got to have good cage lanes and you got to just bring him down, just calm down. Can't go over there crazy.
For a couple of games on the road, how excited are you guys to get back inside Austin?
I'm very excited. I don't like playing away games, and I like playing in front of my city, and just having to drive 2 minutes back to my house after we beat them. So I love that. I don't like going on the plane. I hate traveling. So I'm excited to get back in front of our fans.
Even against maybe the best offense in the country, you guys were still able to force 3 straight stops in the fourth quarter. So what do you feel like you really learned about your defense on Saturday against such an elite team?
No, that just shows you how much the improvement we've shown from last year to this year. I feel like we've got more mature as a group, more not mature, but we take it more to the chin. You know, like last year, it was disappointing having a great defensive coaches and just putting that result for them. Like I took it personal. Like we can't have these good of coaches and not put up good results and just let all these teams just scoring us like that. Yeah, we gave it 36 points against Michael, but I feel like we put a lot of good stuff on film. We did things to Mike that other teams haven't done. You know, and that's the whole thing. It's like how much can we improve on defense?
That goal line stand in particular, how good does that feel as a defender, especially in this rivalry game, that big of a moment? How good does that feel?
That's the best feeling, man. You know, you at the 1 yard line, and you know they have to run the ball because it's tight window for the passing, so they have to run the ball. And you know, we schemed them up pretty good. We had this play call we ran all year long, and then we had to look at adjustment. And first play on the goal line, we ran that play and it stuffed them, and then we just kept doing. And it was amazing feeling. Like I don't think y'all ever like understand. It's like stopping somebody from going 1 yard to touchdown. It shows you a lot about defense.
I thought that was a cool point that Brandon Dorles made. In fact, it reminded me when we were talking on the coaches show, he and I about a month ago. You know, I asked Dorles, like, is there a better feeling than a sack? And he actually talked about like those big stops, like when you don't let the line of scrimmage move as a defensive lineman, that sticks out for him and for people that play his position. I thought that was cool. On the other side of the trench, Stephen Jones, a guy who's been around, has been through some ups and downs with various Oregon teams over the course of his career. In the trenches, offensive lineman Stephen Jones talked with the media after practice.
I like on the road when, you guys can barely hear anything and you're playing that role beyond just playing the role at right guard, that you have to be a communicator out there.
You know, I feel like after this being my 6th or whatever year, like, the situations like that where it's so loud, it's kind of fun. It's like a fun challenge. Like, you got to be able to execute, and if you don't, then it's going to keep on. The snowball is just going to keep going. So having to overly communicate like that is actually, I find it fun because you really got to make sure that everyone's on the same page. You can't really just get stuck in that motion of, oh, we see the defensive front, this is what we're usually going to do. If I can't hear the person next to me, then I got to do whatever it is to make sure that he knows, and I know what's going on. So I like it.
How long does it take you to settle into a game when it's, that loud there?
For me, it's kind of just that first play. You kind of always have jitters. You know, every athlete has jitters until that first play. Once you make contact with that person, it's like, all right, well, we're in it now. So you just got to keep going.
You've gotten a good look at Poncho this year, obviously rotating with him. What stood out to you about him and the way that he's been able to come in as a true freshman and have an impact on this team?
I'd say probably his vulnerability. Athlete like that coming out of high school who's that skilled can easily just kind of be like, oh, okay, like, I know what I'm doing. But Poncho came in with open eyes, open arms. He wanted to learn from me and all the old guys. So just having that type of athlete with that skill level at his age is very beneficial for us because he's able to come in and actually make plays with us. And also he's just a great guy. I mean, his older brother's even better person. They're both awesome people. So, like, it's always fun playing with Poncho.
With Ope, how have you seen him kind of bring his younger brother into the mix and make sure that he was, on the right page and doing things the right way?
You know, Ope is a man of few words, but once he says something, you got to listen. So I think him and Poncho already have that relationship because obviously they grew up together. So, like, you don't really see Poncho, or you don't really see Ope coaching Poncho a lot, but he'll say something quietly and Poncho will just listen immediately. So, like, I don't know. Ope's a great dude. Great. He's one of the best. He's one of my favorite players on the offensive line because he's the pure definition of toughness. He's had so many injuries, and he pushed through it all since he's been here. So I really commend him for that.
You mentioned the vulnerability with Poncho. Do you think that's pretty rare for the guy coming in just for years? People have been telling him how good he is to come in here and kind of have that mentality?
Yeah, kinda. Yes and no, because obviously coming out of high school, if you're a 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit, best in your state or whatever, like, it's so easy to come in with a big head. But, those dudes who do come in looking to learn even more, even though they already know that they're at that level, he reminds me of Panay. When Panay got here too, he was one of those dudes who was already at a different skill set, but he wasn't one of those dudes who was kind of cocky and that he had it all. So I think that, yeah, you see it sometimes, but also, like, there are those hidden gems of people who are still humble, knowing what they're working with.
How much confidence do you guys have in Bo going forward?
I mean, that's my quarterback. He's back there throwing the rock every play, so I'm going to rock with him until we can't no more.
What's your memories of this series? Because I think you're one of the few, I'm pretty sure you traveled in 18 up there, one of the few left who has. You guys have won ever since.
Yeah.
So just what are your memories of this Wazoo series and how wild some of these games have been?
I know growing up there is one of the loudest stadiums in the Pac-12 for sure, and Wazoo has always been a very versatile defense. They always show a bunch of different looks, and they always go out there and execute full speed. They're one of those high motor teams that they might not be the biggest or the fastest or the strongest, but they do play with the most heart out of all the defenses that we see throughout the whole entire season. So this upcoming week, I know it's going to be a really good challenge for us, especially for us up front to go against guys like Brandon Jackson and Ron Stone off the edge. So I'm really excited, though. It's always a great challenge.
You've faced those guys so many times throughout your career. It's kind of one of the weird matchups you guys both think in your 6th year.
Yeah.
What's it like kind of seeing those players grow and then looking into the matchup going?
You know, it's actually kind of fun because me and Brennan, we actually played against each other back in high school. So I've been going against him since I was 14 or whatever. So, like, I see it as always a friendly competition. Every time I go against him, it's a challenge. It's not like it's a walk in the park. He's a great athlete, too. So you always got to prepare the most for whenever you're going against guys like him. But, no, I mean, after the game, obviously I'm going to say what's up to him. And, like, it's coming from the same city. You know, you always got respect for those other dudes. So I think it's a privilege to be able to go against him, too, when he's on the opposite side of the ball and we go back and forth. And we've been going back and forth for the last 7-8 years. So I love it.
Who do you think won the majority of the matchups?
I don't know. It's always been even. High school has been even. I mean, back in high school, respectfully, my team wasn't the winning team, so we're kind of always getting whooped. So, but no, I mean, it's always an even matchup every time I go against him.
Stephen Jones, how about that, though? Guys that have been in this conference a long time, dates back to before they were in the same conference. Stephen Jones meeting with the media there. Quick timeout when we come back, looking at the preview of the coaches show tonight. Also, your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Maybe hear from another student athlete. We'll see after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the Lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Heard from Bucky Irving, Pat Herbert, Brandon Dorles, Stephen Jones. Now, let's hear from Triquez Bridges, quarterback who played really well, I thought, down the stretch in the matchup with Washington. He talked with the media after practice. Triquez Bridges this week.
When a team challenges you, like Washington did, how do you respond in the moment? How do you try to respond going forward after that?
When the team challenges me like Washington, how do I go forward with that?
Well, how do you respond like in the game? Like literally first snap, they're coming right after you. Like how do you try to respond as a player to a challenge like that?
I don't think it's me responding. I think they don't respond with me coming in the game. You know what I mean? Because like I know what I can do, and I'm prepared for this game. And when the opportunities come for me to come in and step up, that's what I do. I do what I'm supposed to do. And so first shot, I was excited for him to come at me, and I want him to come more. And I was able to do those things.
How different is the challenge this week, just in terms of the passing offenses?
You have this guy likes to throw the ball quick. he likes to get the ball out quick, and the guys, they don't really run a lot of deep routes, but they will. Don't get me wrong, they will throw balls deep. But he's just like he like to get the ball fast, and I know with our D line, you would want to get the ball out fast. So, yeah.
How would you describe just this week's preparation? Dan's talked about you guys have been pretty intense all week.
We just getting back to us, just handle the little things that we beat ourselves with in the game. Because we know coming to that last game, we know what we're going to get and what to expect. So this game just about cleaning it up and playing Oregon.
I think that's been accomplished. You guys been cleaning those things up?
Yes.
What impresses you about their outside receivers and the challenge they could present?
I would say these guys they're talented. They're another receiver group that will be tested against. So we just just ready to prepare. We've been watching film on their releases and the stuff that they do. They do a lot of things different from the other guys that we played. Because guys that we played before was a lot taller than these guys, so these guys are kind of more getting to their route now.
When you're watching film, how much do you watch from the week before compared to the next game?
So after the game, we have our film probably drop the game copy might drop right after the game. So some guys watch the film on the plane, some wait to get home the night or the next day. We're able to access film right then and there. But we kind of don't like to dwell on a past game. We like to just get those correct those on Monday, run through those plays again, and move on to the next week.
How tough is it to enter a competitive game like you did last week when we hadn't played a whole lot and be asked to defend a player like Odunze? How difficult was that challenge for you, and how do you feel like you handled it?
I mean, it was tight coverage the whole game, so it wasn't too much to to do. It was just play the ball right at the end of the last play. That's the one I'll look at. It was just a great ball about Penance. So I mean, I don't want to dwell on it. Hopefully we'll see them again.
Well, in particular, obviously he's an incredible receiver. What makes him such a tough matchup when you're out there one-on-one?
Dunze?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Traquez Bridges talking with the media there. A lot of stuff, I think, thrown at him, both literally and figuratively in the game and afterwards. And I appreciate the way that he answered a lot of that. Look, we all are hoping that there's going to be a rematch with Washington. Now, you got to take care of business against a different passing offense in Washington State this week. But I think that is kind of on everybody's mind. Your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill wrapping up the show here on a Wednesday. And I'll tell you, a number of Oregon sporting events going on, including Duck softball tonight. 5:30 at the Jane against Western Oregon. Check it out at Jane Sanders Stadium. Duck soccer's in action 2 o'clock on Thursday. Tomorrow in Berkeley. And Oregon volleyball 7 o'clock on Friday. That's just the next few days. A ton more going on over the weekend. We'll cover that tomorrow. See you for the Coaches Show tonight.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and